Hello and welcome back to another Demis Hellen tutorial. We are going to take a look today at making a melody and just show you how easy it is. And we're going to start by just looking at the C major scale. Now the C major scale is C to C using all white notes. Very, very simple. And if we shift the starting note of that to A, for example, we hit Aeolian mode, which is just another starting point of the C major scale, but it's classed as Aeolian mode, and it's a minor key because of the position of the notes. Now, I'd encourage you to have a look at that in a little bit more depth using scalesandchords.com. There's a link in the description, always near the bottom of the description, but learn a little bit of theory just from the C major scale and applying that into different starting notes. You're on your way to learning really simple and easy music theory, which is just really going to boost your productivity in creating melodies. And staying in the menu section of Rapid, we have the keyboard here, and you can see when I'm pressing keys, that was an A3. And starting from the A position, we can create something quite intense straight away. And that's just going up from A to B to C to D and then repeating. We've created tension there, and that's because we've got a whole tone step to B, then a half step to C, and then a full step again to D, and it gives you that nice tension build. So let's create something really simple just by rocking back and forth just using these notes. So we're going to start on A, and I'm just going to create the start of a triad, which is using the A and C. Now all I've done there is move from C to A, and then I've gone to C to B, C to B. So let's close Rapid down for a second and just record this in. So I'm going to hit C to enable the click. Okay, that might sound a little bit off to you at first, but if we just jump into that, you can see here we have our notes. I'm just going to drag the starting position here and hit Q to quantize all of these. And then I'm going to select fixed lengths, and I'm going to hit Q again because it didn't move it quite enough over. There we are. And if we just loop that, we start to have a nice sound. So I'm just going to drag this out a little bit here. And we've got 2 more bars to work with. So that was just simply moving from A to the B. Anybody can do that. Really, really simple. How can we take this a step further? So I'm just going to drag all these notes up to the same volume. And what we can do is we can just shift this up 1 note, this whole section. So if you're not adept at playing on the keyboard, let's just drag this up to D. Now we know that C sharp is not in there because we don't have any of these black keys in. Drop that down to C. And then to keep things really, really simple, let's just copy that again to that section. It gives a nice loop. We have that double note there. That sounds a little bit off, but once we start to build things into it, everything will work nicely. So I'm going to set everything to 16ths. Now I'm going to take these bottom notes, which are our bass notes. We're not going to follow that bass pattern. I'm going to copy these in here and drop them 1 octave. I'm going to lengthen them to 8ths instead of 16ths and put them off beat. So now we have this. Now I'm just going to go the opposite way. And we're going to create a bit of a chord here. So if we go down to G, now you can see the G is in relation to the B. So G and B would be the start of a standard triad chord. And then we have this one, and we're going to put this down to F. Now if we had D and F, that would start creating a triad there. So I'm just trying to keep the similar spacings by keeping that in the back of your mind. Simple triads. And if you're not familiar with triads, head over to the Scales and Chords website and start learning a bit of theory. There's plenty of other tutorials on the channel and other YouTube channels that explain it really well. And finally, because this last bit here repeats the second bar, we're just going to drop that to a G so it goes down and then back up. So it creates a nice loop going round. It's going down and back up, down, and it's like very seamless, same as this top melody. So now we'll have a little bit of a cosmic gate feel. I'm all sounds very good. Now I'm not a fan of the longer notes in this sound particular. So we'll keep it short for a second, and we're going to put these up one octave and separate them a little bit. So we've got the bass exactly where it was, but these are one octave higher. I'm going to create a little bit of interest here by adding a G in there, and that rolls it back through to where this A starts. So it kind of gives a nice little down and then up again. A little bit cheesy, but we're going to keep it in there. Now, let's create some triads. These are the simple parts. So we're going to create some offbeat triads to follow the bass. We're going to copy the bass note to start with. And the next triad would be miss a white note, hit a white note. So there we are. We've got a C. Now you can see that they've put these onto some of the black notes, and we know that they are not in the scale. So this one, if we moved it down, we don't have another white note spacing, so we can't use A. Or we can, but it's not creating the classic triad. So we're going to put that up to B to keep that same spacing, one white note between each. This one the same again, so it's going to be A, so there's one white note space, and then this is a repeat of that one. And if we want to go one step further, we can create the final triad, and we know that it's one white note space and E. Now these again are wrong, so we want one note white space, so we're going to put that on D. That is going to drop to a C because we've already got the white note of B in the way, and that one drops again because it mimics the second one. And now we have our three note triad, a melody and our bass line. And that gets as simple as that. Now what we can do is split that up into sections. Now on the first one we can take away the melody, and we can take away these notes. So we're just left with the first chord and the first bass note. Drag them to the start, sustain them, and we suddenly have our chords for strings. As you'll see in previous tutorials, you can check out some of the videos. We can thin these out and create a little bit more emotion in there by having that third one octave higher. There's our pads, and then we've obviously got our bass note, and we can start creating roll and trance spaces. And there we have it. We have our sound. We've created the melody, the chords, and the bass. We've made a pad section, and we can also use the same bass notes to create a rolling bass. So we can simply just duplicate this track, take away that one, take away that one. So this then becomes our pads. And we can just go in and choose a preset for pads. Let's have a listen into the Trance Essence pack here, and we can go down to pads. See what epic choir sounds like. Turn that click off. And we've layered pads. We've got a nice pad section happening now. We can add a little bit more bass into this. We're just going to copy that first portion there. We've duplicated it one step lower. Get the chords out of here. gives you a quick insight into how easy it is to start a trance melody without just looking at a keyboard and starting to panic. So hopefully that did help. If it did, let me know down in the comments. Hit the like button if you did enjoy the video, and finally hit subscribe and the bell icon so that you see all my uploads into your feed, because 70% of my viewers are not subscribed. So please subscribe. It does help out the channel and it keeps me going and giving these videos out for you guys. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.